Warning, the following episode of Boots on the Ground contains mature language. View at your own discretion. Part 2 recording right now. Welcome back to Boots on the Ground, episode 17. We're down a couple of people. Leosa said he would be back, but he hasn't come back, so he's probably just busy doing something, and DS had to go get ready for Thunderdome, which we'll talk about at the end. But we're just going to go into events and other news for the game. Yeah, I'll just get it started. Omega Booster's coming back on the 30th.
Yeah.
Says October 15th. Did someone go and look that up? Because I'm
I
fairly
can't
sure that
remember
date
exactly.
wasn't there originally.
No, I think they just said originally they were just like it's going to be at the end of the month, and then they were like it's going to be September 30th.
Yeah,
And
but
then-
someone's added in October 15th to the notes, and I'm wondering where that came from there. Whatever.
Yeah.
They're the 7-day active, 30-day passive? What?
Yeah, the active booster is a new one. This will be the first ever 100% bonus active SP booster.
Yeah,
There wasn't
Oh,
one
now I
before.
got to go spend money on the game again.
yeah. There you go. Aurum sales just doubled.
I don't think these ones. If anyone bought the last Omega booster, I don't think these ones will be as cheap. Because last time they were half price, if I recall.
I think I bought mine for I think they were 30,000 Orm each.
Yeah, 32, and then there'll be 64.
Wow.
Ew.
That's for the 30-day one. That's not for the 7-day one.
Oh, okay then.
But that's going to be quite. I reckon it'll be like 15,000 for the.
That's still a shit ton of Orm.
It is quite a fair amount.
Mm.
Depends if you want to. The 7-day active thing is quite. Depends. It's I sneeze. I'm not. Oh, I hate having a cold.
I can't actually see the thread for this.
I don't know. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Ah.
Oh, here we go.
The 7-day active, I don't think will be.
Oh, they don't actually have
Two.
prices at all. So,
Because it was only like an extra 190 KSP on top of your weekly cap, and then an extra KSP after that. So I don't think many people will buy that. Depends.
I
What
mean,
the cost
if you time your thing right, then you can get it across 2 weeks and hit the cap twice with it.
is. That's true.
Yeah, I mean, it's a cool offer if you have tons of Orm from buying those $100 packs, which many people bought.
Yep.
And I guess it's something to spend Orm on.
Nope. Mine all went into the last batch of boosters, and I actually just ran out of them.
Yeah, mine. I've
Like
got
a
2
week
more
ago.
months left. 2 months of 48 KSP a day. Well, 54 now if you count the new.
Okay, so we'll move on from Omega Boosters. Inactive players to be rewarded for returning. If you haven't played in 60 days, then you will get 100 Proto Assault suits, 100
Yep.
Proto Scout suits.
No, it's 100 Black Eagle suits, which are unique advanced Galente scouts. I used to what? Oh, what the hell! I got something from Google saying I'm still there. Yes, I am. Go away, Google. I don't like you. You get 100 Black Eagle suits, which are extremely unique in the fact that they're basically mini commandos. They have 1 high slot, 1 grenade slot, and 2 light weapon slots. Well, no, they don't have 2 light weapon slots. They have an assault rifle sidearm. It is actually a sidearm, but it's just an assault rifle. And then you'll also get 100 Quaif assault Kaldari suits, which are basically pink Kaldari suits. People are understandably upset about this because if they've played Dust in the past, if they've paid Dust within the last 60 days, they won't get it. For now, at least. Other than that, it is a free-to-play game, and this is a standard thing that free-to-play games do to get people to come back.
Give him shit.
So,
I don't see what the problem is myself.
give them stuff. There will be events to get said rewards. Maybe sooner you think. I don't know yet.
We can't really talk too much about that though.
I got told off last time because like nothing was confirmed. I kind of confirmed it, and they're like, whoa, don't do that, don't do that. You're not allowed to do that.
Well, didn't they throw out a dev blog about the
People
new events coming up
Yeah, there are a
Or
bunch
something.
of
Yeah.
events, and we're gonna get to those.
Yes.
for October?
We'll get to
I think
those
there's
in a
another
sec.
dev blog coming up about the war points that we talked about earlier as well. That's coming out as well next week.
Yeah.
I would like to say, as someone who has 47 recruits, and only 3 of them have hit the 25k mark, I'm really looking forward to maybe some of those people coming back. Because I really want my, I really want all the rewards. Because they're amazing.
I
Can't
thought you
find
said
the
about
page for it.
the recruiter assault rifle. I kind of want the laser rifle. Because
I want the
if it does
sniper
more
rifle.
damage, if the laser rifle has more heat generated but more damage, I might enjoy that.
I'm
The
actually,
laser rifle.
I just want to see what the 51 is. Because it
What is
looks like an advanced BPO for the assault suit.
Oh, is that the Type 2?
Yeah.
That is. The Type 2 is from Chromosome.
Yeah, I want to see what it is though. I want to like.
That's interesting. Maybe. The Type 2 isn't is a basic though. The A series and B series were advanced. So maybe it's
But
changed.
maybe it's advanced or maybe it's just a different basic suit. But I want to see what
Yeah.
it is. Because
Yeah.
those recruiter awards are quite nice.
I wouldn't know. I have one recruit and it's myself.
Well, you have the assault suit, don't you then? The militia one.
No.
He hasn't got his other account to 100,000 war points. Is it 100,000 war points?
It is 100,000.
Yeah.
25k gets you a bunch of shotguns. You get BPOs for every 100 or 100,000 people hitting certain marks.
That would explain why I've got nothing.
I mean, it's nice because like my alt character's getting cool stuff like the recruit assault rifle BPO and recruit submachine gun BPO.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it makes my suit
They also get a
cheap.
suit, don't they? They get the SMG BPO at 25,000, and they get the suits at 100,000. They
I
actually
think
get
so.
they get the recruit assault suit BPO, which is pretty.
Well, the thing that's going to be interesting for me is with all these BPOs for all these rewards and everything that's going to come up, it's going to make the market and player trading when it arrives very interesting.
Yeah, I'm gonna
think
want
the-
all of the BPOs.
Yeah, I think the recruit BPO is a lot of them are just like militia or thereabouts militia or improved militia. So in terms of market value, it depends. Cause
Well, I
you
mean,
wanna get-
any BPO is actually worth it. BPO original is worth
Yeah.
it because
Yeah.
I have a Logi, a very cheap Logi suit for pub matches. It only costs like 6,000 disc with a complex damage modifier in it, and I save so much money using that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be doing a training video soonish, TM, about how to make money in the game or not spend as much ISK.
I was actually just having that conversation last night with a fellow director. He was like, "I'm so broke," and I'm like, "Dude, run your cheap suits again. What are you doing to yourself?"
Dipshit. It's like,
I'm like,
Yeah.
I run.
everyone from the bat has 4 free suits.
Yeah.
And they just delete them as soon as they think they can make the better suit, and they keep forgetting that their skills actually affect the free suits as well, the basic,
Yeah.
the 4 basic sets. So So I go around with my assault basic suit that comes free with the game, and I'm just wiping out heavies.
That's. I bought that stupid $100 pack, and I got the
Dren.
Logi.
The Dren Logi is awesome.
It's the same thing as the old
Server.
Yeah.
It is a server. It's just it's a different color.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just gray. And I'm like, I love it. Are you kidding me? I have advanced gear on it, and it costs me 12,000 ISK. And I make a boatload of money off of it every match.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I think
This is-
it comes down to a lot of people don't seem to understand because everyone's rolling proto guns now. People have started to underestimate how powerful standard and militia guns actually are because
Yeah.
they're only 20. They only have like proto guns stat wise only have 20% more damage in most cases.
Yeah.
Then you've got things like the swarm launcher and the laser rifle which handle differently. Because the swarm launcher scales really, really fast off tech levels.
Yeah. And the thing, if you got your skills, if you got your AR proficiency up to level 5, and you've got
15%.
just put one complex damage modifier on your suit,
Yeah.
you've got 25% extra DPS from a Dren assault rifle.
For
And if
third
you're
of
pretty
the
good with an
15.
assault rifle, you're wiping out people.
It's also the recruiter ones have different stats from like the standard gear, which I thought was a bit weird and interesting at the same time. I got the assault rifle like a few days ago, and it does more damage than a standard AR, but it has a militia AR's
Flip size.
flip
Requirements.
size, and it has a higher fitting requirement as well, which I thought was. So
So again,
I
this
want to
is the sort
see
of
what
thing.
the scrambler pistol and the sniper rifle and the laser rifle are like now.
Yeah,
if
Charlie
the-
wants
if-
to know what the scrambler
If
pistol's
the
like. as
laser
well.
rifle has more damage than a standard laser rifle, that would mean the recruiter laser rifle is the most damaging weapon in the game. Because laser rifles don't scale. A standard laser rifle, if you can handle the heat, is basically a Visium. It just more or less. So if it has more damage, that's something that needs to be addressed.
But yeah, I'm happy that they're trying to get people back into the game. When the patch hits, I'm probably gonna make a Reddit thread on our games and like let people know that the game has a tutorial now and squad
With a link
finder and
to your
everything as
recruiter
well.
thing.
Because I think a lot of people when they played the game didn't know what they were doing and just got slaughtered, and there wasn't matchmaking and guns didn't fire very far.
I did my best.
The frame rate was awful. I mean, you run a corp that helps new players, but you can't fix a broken
I
frame
know.
rate.
I know. But I like to think that I would love to find out if anyone from CCP watches, which I know they do. I would love to find out what the retention rate for players are that end up in a corp, rather than ones that just don't bother. If it's anything like in Eve, then CCP must love the bigger corps.
Well, I can tell you that my retention rate for recruits is 6% right. So make of that what you will.
Mine's about 14, roughly 14 to 20.
14 people.
No, 14 to 20%.
100%.
So for every 100 new starters, we're probably getting 40 players that stay on for more than a month. That's a 40% retention per month, not per week. So I think that's not too bad actually. And even when I kick 400 people a month that haven't been active, because I like to keep it an active corp, we still grow. We're still growing month on month. I mean, we were before last month. We were on the verge of getting 2,000, and I got rid of, and that's because I hadn't culled the previous month, and I got rid of 700 people. So we were down to like 1,200, and now we're back up to 1,450. So it's, But I would love to find out how if we are indeed helping the player retention in the game. It would be nice to know.
Yeah, and I
I would
imagine with
assume
things,
you have to.
yeah, and I imagine that's going to get better with Squad Finder. stuff
Oh,
like
yeah.
that.
Stuff like that's going to be. I mean, we're in Dust University. We've been playing around with an idea, which we're not going to announce yet, about corpse. So we're just going to see if it's doable first of all. But it's because part of the problem is with us is that people tend to hang around with us a lot, and there's only so much they can do in the training course. They like hanging around with us because they like the camaraderie and they like the people that they meet. But it's always been my intention that people come in, learn the game, and then bugger off and do their own thing. you know, start your own corp, get your own friends together. But
Are you talking about a possible red versus blue style situation?
no, nothing like that. Just because I believe more corps in the game means a stronger game, a stronger player base, and we've come up with an idea that we think might work that would help encourage that.
Okay, well, that's good to know, because I do see a lot of D-Uni people around, and I see a lot of D-Uni guys in Proto, and I'm like,
Oh
shouldn't you
god,
be
you're not one of them on
joining-
the forums. D-Uni always use Proto.
It's more just like, shouldn't you be finding a corp or something? Like, there are lots of corps out there that are looking for members.
Yeah, I know. I mean, we have recruitment threads posting out in our forums. Just like try these guys. But I short of me kicking everyone once, I can't really enforce them to go. But we're hopefully going to come up with an incentive scheme. So.
Those are the only guys in the game that when they kill me, I'm like, oh, good for them. Like, I could be driving around in my tank and get blown up by a D-Uni guy, and I'm like, that's good for them. That's good.
Yeah.
I'm going to call in another one for him.
Because obviously no one in D-Uni has more than 1 million skill points. No one. Not even me. I don't have that many.
But then again, I see your directors and your trainers kill me, and I'm like, I'm going to go stab that person.
Apparently I am a drinking competition. If you kill me, I'm worth 2 shots, apparently. So.
Okay, we'll move on then. Because Thunderdome's not that far away now. So we'll go on to the factional war. Oh, actually, just all the October events. So the first one is October is for Winners. It's a all of October event, and it is first 3 wins of any game mode or contract type except Planetary Conquest, and I'm glad they included that. In each of these first 3 wins, you earn double the value of the war points earned in bonus skill points, and these skill points do not count towards the weekly cap.
That's huge.
Good.
Because, like, last night, me and some of the guys were running together, and one of our guys actually put up a match that he was just shy of 4,500 war points in one match.
I think the most I've got is 3,200. And I felt pretty good about myself for about a week.
Yeah, I guess that's like 30,000, 20,000 more a week if you're playing every day. If you're doing well.
Mm. Well, I mean, it goes with anything that gives people more skill points encourages them. I mean, the daily login bonus of 6,000, that's helpful. I would personally love it if every 10th consecutive day that you log on, you get an extra, say, 50,000. That would be cool. I think that would encourage people a lot.
I think every 10th day that would be a bit. Oh my god, phone stopped going off. I think 50,000 every 10 days would be a bit ridiculous. That's like doubling the.
Well, maybe not so much, but maybe not so much as that. But some sort of acknowledgement that you've logged on for 10 consecutive days. Have a Scooby snack.
I think they should change it slightly. Like, I love the idea of getting free SP. But I think if they want to do it so that they're trying to get people to stay logged into the game, maybe make it, log in, you play 1 match, you get bonus.
Yeah.
You get the bonus SP for playing 1 match. So that way people aren't, like myself, logging on, just getting the SP and then going, all right, no one's on, I'm going.
Yeah, I mean, I do that on my alts every day. I just log on to them first, get the bonus SP, and then log on to my main and play matches. Because you're getting like 18k a day doing that.
The 6k SP a day is basically a 50% increase in passive SP for my pistol character. That's after buying a booster for her.
Mm. But yeah,
Well-
anything that gives people SP is to be
I'm
encouraged.
really interested if this is kind of. I mean, it probably is just an experiment to see if doing something like this. God, your phone just keeps doing that, doesn't it?
It wants to be on the show.
I am just curious if this is some kind of experiment to see if they're going to do this as a permanent change. I think that that could be something if this works and gets the concurrent numbers up.
Well, now you mention it, would you think that this is indicative of something that what's his name from EA has brought in? The guy that they brought in that's had experience of microtransaction
Oh yeah,
games.
actually, this could be a Sean Decker
Sean Decker, that's it.
suggestion that he came up with.
Because it sounds like an idea that's something. And you mentioned earlier on that Charlie mentioned earlier on that a lot of other free to play games do this, and I know that Decker's had some experience at EA.
The daily login bonus is probably like the first thing free to play games ever do, anyway.
Mm. So yeah, I think
You've got-
that's possibly Decker's influence beginning
Yeah.
to be felt in the game now.
You've got actually ridiculous. Like I think every free to play game does that, besides PlanetSide 2.
And I think that'll probably do it once it gets launched on the PS4.
PlanetSide 2 needs to do something about their player retention rates because that's dropping drastically.
Yeah, I'd
And
heard that.
It's a very pretty game, but the meta is so boring. It is literally like either be blobbed or blob, and you take turns, and that's
Yeah. I mean, I'd be
Uh,
interested to see what it's like on the PS4. I think it might. Everyone's been going on about how Dust would really work on the PC, but I think if PlanetSide 2 is beginning to wane a little bit.
Apparently, PlanetSide 2 is going to be running on the PS4 in Ultra on 60 FPS. I do not believe that for a second, but that would be ridiculous if it is true. Because a lot of people, because Ultra mode was locked off, you weren't able to get it without modifying the files to do it yourself. But that is so pretty. Just turn the HUD off and just watch a battle. It is ridiculous how pretty that game is.
Well, I know some of the guys that work on it, and I know they're very talented. So if they've figured it out, we'll put it past them. So.
But anyway, this is
Well,
a
they could do something
a
like
Dust 514
Yeah,
show.
yeah,
so
sorry, yeah.
enough of that terrible game.
I don't hate it on the PC.
Actually,
Don't
no,
like it.
I've never played it. I've heard mixed things about it, but maybe I'll play it one day.
Pretty to look at. No substance.
Yeah.
No, that's basically it.
Moving on, October is for winning rookies, which is basically the same except for rookie academy players who get 5 victories every day and bonuses for them. Although from what I understand, the war points thing is still really low, so if you won 5 games, you're probably out of rookies. Especially since it's based on war points, you need 1400 to get out of the academy, so... Oh well. So we'll move on to the Factional Warfare Challenge. This is probably one of the more interesting ones happening. And it is if you fight either 20 games with a 55% win rate, 30 games with a 50% win rate, oh, Leos is back, or 40 Factional Warfare matches with a 45% win rate, you get a bunch of rewards. And those are all different tiers of rewards. And you have to fight for one faction. Like, all those matches have to be for a single faction.
Yeah.
All hail them all.
First of all, which faction are people going to be fighting for, out of interest?
Galante, of course.
We've got
Mimitar.
Amar, Galante, I'm going Mimitar, Reaver's going Mimitar. Leo, so which faction are you going to be fighting for?
Well, my Eve tune's Galente, but I kind of lean more Caldari.
You go for what? My tune's Galente, but the Amar just, yeah, everything's golden and shiny. I like shiny things. And also, their weapons are also, every single weapon is overpowered. Every single suit is overpowered. Nothing can go wrong with Amar at the moment.
Until they get nerfed.
They will get nerfed, and I've actually put forward a lot of weapon profiles to have them nerfed where they're not nerfed into the ground, but they're actually balanced.
Mm.
Like
So you're going to be like CCP's head of balance in like a year or something.
CCP's ahead of Amar balance. Well, a lot of the things I was doing beforehand was back when was before the laser rifle got its sight, and CCP. A lot of people were saying buff the laser rifle loads. It needs so much buffing, and I was like, just don't buff the laser rifle. Don't touch it, and just put this sight on it, and watch how people will think it's amazing, even though nothing has changed. And
Well, I mean,
lo
didn't Hans last week make some mention of the fact that the people don't understand how just
People
because they bitch and whine a lot on the forums doesn't mean
Yeah.
CCP pay any attention to them.
Flavor of the month exists for a reason, because people can't form their own personal
Opinion.
fates.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, maybe not opinion, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, there's their own style of play. They have to, whatever works
Yeah.
for you works for you. You don't have to follow someone else. People,
Yeah.
I have been seeing a lot more laser rifle though lately.
Yeah.
That's why I switched to a scrambler rifle. To scrambler. I switched to scrambler rifle and scrambler pistol because scrambler rifles do a lot more damage at longer range than laser rifles do. So there's the key to being good at a laser rifle is knowing its sweet spot and fighting at only that sweet spot. As soon as you go out of it, you're gonna die. And I just abuse that fact that no one else knows how laser rifles work. And that's it.
So I'm not the only one that laughs when they watch the laser rifle guy run towards you and get closer and closer, and I'm like, just keep coming, just keep coming. It's okay.
Yeah, I'll just pull out my toxin submachine gun. Get ready for you.
Just let it happen. Just let it happen.
Oh dear.
I mean, well, the other thing
That's gonna
about the
mow you
laser
down.
rifle was they fixed the ADS.
Oh, thank God.
A lot of people said that was the main reason, but like I use the laser rifle almost exclusively throughout Chromazone and Uprising most of the time, and generally it only affected maybe 5%. Like, well, not even 5%. It was at a
but
specific
you run around with
range.
dual scrambler pistols and kill proto gear, so like.
That's
I've
not
been
my
doing
fault,
that during the
that's bad.
show. It works really well.
They're ridiculous. Yeah, I was playing matches with Gimbal, and he just like bought some militia ones, and he just got he had like 20, and he's like, oh, okay, these are pretty good.
It's once you get into the breach scramble pistol that it's just like you one-shot people if you shoot them in the head or something.
Breach. I'll tell you now. Just ignore the breach. Just go for the burst until
Well,
it
I
gets
haven't
nerfed.
gotten
The
that
burst.
far yet, so...
The breach used to be the most powerful weapon in the game because you could, it only has like 2 shots per second. You could completely bypass that and make it fire as fast as not an SMG, but pretty fast. But they fixed that, thankfully. So now breach scrambler pistols aren't in the god tier anymore.
Okay, so we talk about some of these rewards then, and the
I
drama
just want to
that.
talk
Oh
about
wait,
pistols.
DS isn't here, so he can't complain and do his rant. Fine with me. So we'll go through the rewards. Amar tier 1 is 100 Imperial Flux drop-up links, pretty nice. Tier 2 is 50 Cartham Assault Scrambler Rifles, also extremely nice. And tier 3 is 25 Logistics or Proto Suits. I heard people complaining that these weren't heavy suits because Amar were meant to be. Amar are the only heavy race right now.
Yeah.
Heavies kind of get left out of awards. And I heard the response to this, which was there's no Amar weapon right now, as far as heavy weapons go. So they couldn't
Yeah.
meet that requirement.
Placeholders.
Yeah, I mean, well, I mean, they could have maybe done commando, because these are all specialized suits they're handing out anyway. I guess
But
commandos
I
are pretty
don't consider
terrible.
commandos heavies.
I mean, it's not totally CCP's fault, but they've sort of hamstrung themselves because they don't have all the weapons out. But I mean, I wouldn't want them to dump like 50 weapons on them, and balance goes to hell, and we spend a month slogging through
Exactly.
that.
Yeah.
Exactly. You know, people are expecting 1.6, 1.7 to just dump a huge amount of stuff on us. They're not understanding the process of which CCP are doing this, because by doing it on a monthly cycle, they can add stuff and then they can fix it before the next batch of stuff comes out. Like I said, if they just dump too much in one go, then it just becomes a nightmare to sort out any problems that sort out. Hence, you get the Flaylock fiasco all
Too
over
many
again.
variables.
Yeah, exactly. You know,
I
only
do think
Flaylocks.
1.6 they're gonna dump quite a lot of weapons on us though, if the vehicle changes go through. I'll get to this point later, but we'll keep going through the tiers.
Mm.
Get
3
through it.
weapons.
3 weapons
infantry.
are coming. Yep. But we'll do Caldari tier 1, 100 Ishkone gauge nanohives. Nice proto nanohives. More grenades. Tier 2, 50 tactical sniper rifles, proto level. Also quite nice. I think we're gonna see a lot of redline snipers on the Caldari side for this event. So
Really? There's a surprise.
I guess just kind of
Stunned
have a
at
lot
that
of attack
revelation.
and run forward. Oh, they have to get a certain win rate as well, so there's gonna be a lot of angry people who can't win games.
Oh, because we don't have enough of them.
But sniper tiers are the best tiers.
Okay, and the tier 3 reward is 25 times Proto Assault Caldari ones. So nice rewards. Nothing like amazing, but certainly like that's however many million per tier.
Quite a bit.
Like 5 million to 10 million ish.
Yeah, something like that.
That kind of range, which is nice. I'll take it. Galente is 100 times Creodon active scanners, so I think we're going to see a lot of people going Galente. Actually, at the moment.
Well, Galante seems to be growing
and,
on the field.
and considering the amount of people who are going to be redline sniping on the Caldari side, I think those are going to be pretty easy to get. Tier 2 rewards, 50 times Creodon shotguns, so you're going to see your scouts on the Galente side. And
Yeah,
50
exactly.
scout drop suits is tier 3 reward as well, so...
Yeah. So a Creodon shotgun prototype drop suit scout with a Creodon active scanner is going to be a pretty badass combination.
Yeah. Snipers versus scouts. It's going to be an interesting week. Yeah, it's actually it's going to be target practice. Yeah, and the final one is Mimitar, and this is the interesting one. I'll explain why in a second, because I don't think that many people saw this. Tier 1 was the 100 times 6 Kryn triage repair tools, which happily take those. I don't really have that many skill levels in repair tool right now, but like, see a lot of people getting a lot of use out of those. Tier 2 is the 50 times freedom mass drivers.
Oh god.
Exactly.
Asshole galore. And tier 3 is Logi 25 times Proto Logi Mimitar. Now, you're going to see a lot of... Oh, they're going up against Scrambler rifles. Okay, so that's kind of even from the Mimitar Mar, like who's going to be going for those rewards. Caldari Galente, I think Galente is just going to stomp all over them because it's just going to be snipers and scouts.
Yeah. the Galenta Eve side faction warfare guys are going to love this week because they're already steamrolling Caldari, so it's going to make it even worse.
There's going to be a lot of hate threads on the E forums that Dustin packs too much. Oh no, Dustin packs us? What is this? I didn't sign up for this.
Well, yeah, I guess.
Oh, it's not like we've been warning them for over a bloody year.
But at least Minmatar Mar is kind of even. I mean, assault scrambler rifles and mass drivers are around the same level of power, I guess you could say. Especially when there's no friendly fire.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing about this whole thing was when the post first went up, those weren't mass drivers on that list. They were combat rifles.
What?
Yes, they were.
So I guess that means we're getting combat rifles in 1.6. Sure. Because if they were that close to being ready when they wrote this, obvious this was written a while ago, so
Yeah.
there was no actual hint about which weapons we were getting aside from the Eve market. So combat rifles are the thing that's coming next, apparently.
Yay,
So
more things
people's-
to shoot me and die by.
Well, we haven't got a particular weapon tier yet group that's got all the racials, have we? So
Maybe we don't. Maybe we do. I'm trying to be as
That sounded
not
awfully
saying
cryptic.
anything.
yeah, that was.
There's one weapon that if it gets added, I'm going to be quite because
Ion
the
pistol.
The stats on it. If it's in and the scrambler pistol isn't balanced, I might become infinite KDR overnight because scrambler pistols are powerful enough. Iron pistols are designed to be more powerful than scrambler pistols by law, just lower range.
By law.
By not law, not LAW, the law of the game.
Lore. Okay. Accent.
Law,
Okay.
yeah. So basically, if iron pistols are going to be basically like an assault rifle, like a blaster, but with a massive headshot bonus, I'll be pretty happy. But balance-wise, I don't want it to happen. I don't really like people noticing straight away that the stuff I use is good, because then it becomes flavor of the month, and I get bored of using it because other people use it.
So everybody watching out there, go use scrambler pistols.
Yeah.
No, do, because then they'll get nerfed, and then I'll push my model of it forward. They do need nerfing. They really need nerfing, but it just depends how it's nerfed.
I do remember when we went into a match with Logibro that one time, and wow, these are pretty overpowered.
The seed has been planted.
But yeah, I'm interested to see what's happening. I think rail rifles were the other ones from the Eve leak, so I guess that means that Eve leak is fairly accurate.
I think it's going to be the Magsex instead of the rail rifles, but it might be both. I think.
I would say that the AR tier, the AR class of weapon, light weapon, is probably going to be the one that's first going to be fully serviced by all races. Myself personally, because the AR is popular for a reason.
It's probably going to be like the TAC will take the rail rifle take the place of the TAC rifle, and then
the rail rifle will be the breach. The burst is the combat rifle, and the TAC has already been replaced. It's the scrambler rifle. Long range, single shot. It makes sense. All of the TAC was infinitely better for time during the dark days of Uprising 1.0.
Yeah.
That's the event anyway. Go play 20, 30, or 40 each race. Try to pick which one you
Collect
actually
them
want the
all.
rewards for. You can't play for all of them though. You can't do like 160 faction warfare matches and get every limited to one.
Yeah.
you should though. If you play that many matches in 1 week,
If you're playing that many matches in 1 week, you should really reevaluate what's going on in your life.
Yeah, that's actually let's say 20 minutes a match. Math. 40, 47 hours, something like that.
Yeah, well, Rivera could probably have a crack at that, but
Actually, I could
That
probably
girl-
manage that.
that girl never seems to sleep.
Wonder how much
True.
XP she's on now.
She probably is.
Didn't she make like 500,000 a week from just
After being
after the
capped
cap? Yeah, something like that.
Jesus.
She's absolutely mental.
Okay.
We all love her though. We all love her in the uni. If anyone messed around with Rivera, there'd be a sudden flurge of flights all the way to Reykjavik to kick someone's ass. 737s would be landing at Keyflick with people with baseball clubs. Right, where's that asshole that messed up Rivera? You know, anyone screws her over, she's gonna get. You know, she just has to point. Kill him.
Okay, we'll move on. We've only got a couple of things left to talk about. And the last one is something I noticed come up. And this isn't really Dust news, especially, but it's general PlayStation 3 console news. And that's China ending the ban on consoles. I mean, they still have to get pre-approved by the government before they'll be allowed to be sold, but
That
This
doesn't
means-
change anything, though.
if there'll be words coming out of my mouth while I'm talking about, they'll all like anything online will be in China only, I guess. So, in terms of us, we won't be affected, but it's a step toward breaking the barrier of the information.
Great
buying
firewall.
Yeah. The Great Firewall. Why
I
did I not
mean,
think
the
of
reason I'm bringing it up, though, in the way that will affect us, is this means Chinese market loves free-to-play games, and them suddenly having PS3s and a possible Dust client means that CCP can make money in the Chinese market. Will have that knock-on effect for us. CCP
I
earning more
imagine they
money from Dust.
are already on that.
Yeah, they'll be all over that.
Especially
Think
considering
of it.
they're located in China.
Yeah,
And they also
Shanghai.
got, I mean, they already got the Serenity thing, the Chinese Eve server, so.
I mean, Serenity's regularly getting over 10,000 now. Concurrent, so.
The ship meta on Serenity is amazing. You just literally just get a battleship and punch someone, get as close as you can and just punch them. There's no jams, there's no lodges, it's just get a battleship and beat someone up. It's amazing.
Anyway, we're not talking about Eve. But that is a good thing, the China whole deal.
Mm.
Because that
Anything
means
that brings us new shiny things is good.
yeah, it means that the game has more security. If it does really well in the Chinese market, then it means that like they're definitely
huge
gonna
market.
keep going with it, yeah. And like we're gonna like even if they aren't making a huge profit margin off of the non-Chinese market, or the international market, I guess you could say, if the Chinese market is supporting the game, then that means they might as well just keep
So
us
be it.
going. Yeah.
Well, that's assuming, of course, that they're making a loss on Dust, which, as we mentioned earlier, from the amount of drens that are flying around on the
It
fields.
also means that Eve players can shut up about Dust taking their money.
They won't shut up.
You know, they won't shut up. They'll never shut up about it, and I say that as an
They'll
Eve
only
player.
shut up once we start making them money, like the actual
Yeah.
Eve players.
Or taking over their shit. So, and with the Rubicon thing, briefly touching into Eve and the vision that they shared at FanFest, I can see it's going to be not too far away before we can start directly affecting them. Because obviously
Taking over Titans.
the space elevators that they keep talking about have to be elevated from a planet. So that's where we are. So they'll have to deal with us at that point.
And there are PI changes coming, even if they're just Poco changes. So they're obviously looking at PI some way or another. So
Well, they're talking about having it on an iPad, aren't they, and stuff like that. But
So you never know. Which is a terrible talking point, so we'll move on.
Yeah.
NA winners of the Prime tournament. The Ancient Exiles with team players coming in second, and it was joint third, fourth, because none of the Synergy or R&D guys showed up because they just couldn't
Yeah.
be bothered.
I think there were some issues with
GTA
match being
5.
Yeah.
no, I actually think the match wasn't seeded. I think there was some talk about that, but
But at this point, I've talked to Movado, and they just don't care anymore. I think they've actually stopped playing Dust because they've called out faction
GTA 5
warfare.
happened.
Not faction warfare, PC.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is like one of the big corps in the game leaving, and I think that's gonna be. You're gonna start seeing more people, like more vets, start to move on. Like, I'm not saying there's doom and gloom, but
Oh no, because I'm sure they'll be back.
Yeah, that's basically the plan, at least from what Movado said.
Just
Yeah.
take a break.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with taking a break.
Yep.
You got your passive SP. It's not like Eve where you've got to log in every 24 hours to make sure your training skills are up or anything like that. A friend of mine who I got to play Dust, he hasn't played for a couple of months or so, and I was around at his house sorting out his hi-fi system and everything like that, and I uploaded the Dust client for him. He's got like nearly 3 million SP to play with. So I mean, it's not, you can leave the game for a while and still be playing it to a certain degree, because you can come back and you'll have some. Oh, I've got some new toys to play with. So, people like say, oh, if people leave, they're never coming back. Nah, that's bullshit. Because I occasionally put in Halo in my Xbox 360, the original one. So.
Well, it also brings up a good point, is that, like, I've noticed since PC on Eon's side has really pretty much just died out. Like, we barely ever get attacked. We really don't attack anybody else that much. I've been noticing in a lot of pub matches, corps that I haven't seen represented in a long while. Like, since the beginning of PC. Like, I started seeing other corps, and I'm like, I didn't even know these guys were still around.
Yeah.
And, like, I'm happy to...
He's so happy he buggered off.
Censorship in progress.
Movado
NSA
assassinated
or
him.
whatever it is. Yeah.
Movado assassinated him.
Well, I mean, you mentioned about PC falling down. It suits us because it's probably not escaped the attention of anyone that sort of like regularly keeps interest in PC. Is that we've got a planet now?
Oh, you have a full planet.
Yeah, we have a full planet. It's only a
He's
5-district
back
thing,
from the grave.
Heroba 5.
Yeah.
And we've been arranging training matches with people, tier 2 levels, just so people with other corporations can have a practice in that environment, which is what we've always wanted to do. And with PC dying down so much, it's allowed us to be able to do this, and it's working out quite well. And, now that I've mentioned it on here, there'll be some moron that'll come along and try and take it off us. But I would think, we've had, I think, about six PC matches now in the last week and a half that have all been tier 2. And it's just those smaller corporations. I think Neanderthal Nation's one of them. We've had 2 or 3 with them.
When you say tier 2, what do you mean?
Just basically meta level 2 and below.
Oh, okay.
Everyone sticks to that. We allow Drens and stuff like that in, but just so you people that have a low SP level can take part in PC safely without all the stresses and strains of being proto-stomped and stuff like that. So that's actually worked out with the PC dying down a little bit now. That's actually worked out quite well for us, because it's what we've wanted to do, and I firmly believe it helps the community to get these players in, and they'll either, oh, this is quite fun, this is quite intense. We all know PC matches can be quite intense, so which is why we normally have the Simpsons. If they don't hear it on the Simpsons, you don't say it in our chat channels, except in PC matches, because there's just no way that intense. There's just no way we can police people not swearing. So we don't allow completely over the top, but if anyone does, then fair enough. Not going to kick you for that. But yeah, so like I say, we've been practicing on that. So until they add something else into PC, I think we'll be able to safely carry on doing that.
Yeah.
Reaver, you were saying something before you died.
You were happy. You were happy, and then you left.
Yeah, I was all happy. No, I was glad to see a lot of people that I haven't played against in a long time coming back to the game. Like, even last night, I ran into other heavies that I haven't played against and gotten mails from, and I'm just like, I didn't even know you still played this game. Like,
yeah. I saw a guy called Taz33, isn't it?
Taz666.
666, yeah. Not seen him for ages. And then it suddenly turned up in about 4 matches, one after the other that I was in. I was like, where the hell have you been? So there's quite a few older faces coming back, which is possibly why they've got this whole thing about encouraging newer players to come back, because they've noticed people doing that. Because obviously they don't buy or master characters.
Yeah.
So...
It's definitely refreshing to even just see the corp names on the leaderboards, or not even on the war barge. Well, what used to be the war barge. When I look to see who I'm fighting.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh, all right, cool.
Yeah. So like I say, I mean, it's people leave and then they come back.
Yeah.
It's
well, even like me, like I took a break for 2 weeks or something where I was just like, I don't want to be bothered with dust. It became such a grind. I wanted to blow my brains out. And instead I was just like, I logged back in and I'm like, I'm turning this more back into an RPG. Like, now I think more of how to tweak my character and see what I can play with. And then go and blow 10 million ISK on a new toy and 100 new suits and go, I wonder what this is going to be.
Yeah, exactly.
It's probably the way it should be then. Like, that's pretty much what I do now. It's like PC has never been as much as I wanted it to be, so...
Well, I always had reservations about it anyway, and I did mention that to several devs at FanFest.
I didn't really understand the way that they released PC, because PC to me always felt like it was more of a end game solution. Like, that should have been the last thing released, is that we're fighting over actual planets.
Yeah.
Like, there could have been so many other things that were brought in first. Because now that we did this, it's like, okay, well, what's your next plan? What are we... Like, are we going to fight over Titans? Or are we going to be little space mercs running around trying to sabotage people's ships? Like, where do we go from here?
I mean, I'd love it when because they're talking about, in Rubicon, they're talking about having these little depots that people can have, stop-off points. I'd love it if there was like a contract for us to be able to just wipe one out from inside out, take it over. Might be, like a mole, something like a small frigate that an Eve pilot can fly to one of these things and then get within 100 meters of it and then burrow into it and spit us out into the hull.
I mean, that's something the hacking minigame could be used for. Like, even though I know a lot of people don't like that. But... Okay, so, I mean, the thing about the winners is planet names. There's Eon not taking both tournament wins that we're probably not going to get a Sox for unless Ancient Exiles name it Sox 4. I have no idea what they're planning on naming it.
I heard Pluto and Earth were up there.
Oh, if they named it Pluto, I'd be happy.
Yeah, Pluto would be cool. I would like that. And actually, that, I think, might play into CCP's hands in terms of publicity.
Yeah.
Because the BBC quite often throws little stories about EVE Online in their technology section. So, it'd probably get in the press as well. Pluto is now a planet again. So, if they were going to pick any name based on reality, that would be the one I would encourage them to go for, because I think in
the-
terms of publicity for the game, it would be a huge thing.
Yeah, the poll
wonder-
for that
I
came
wonder
out.
if any companies are jockeying for position to rename the planet as advertising.
We've
See,
I
this is
actually
something
got
I
in
could have done.
contact with your boss actually and asked him how much would he be willing to pay, and he was, well, give me a number, and I said, well, we don't have one. Can you give us one? Never heard back from him. So Eve players haven't really been that in. Well, I mean, they've kind of been interested, but there hasn't been a particularly strong effort, really, from
Mm.
their part, as far as I'm seeing.
Well,
There were a few-
you're talking to the guy that runs Matani.com. He doesn't care about Dust anymore, so I don't think he ever has.
Well, I'm talking about like Mittens himself. Like, would he be
Oh,
interested in
yeah.
a goon planet?
Don't give it to Mittens. Don't.
Would,
They-
like
if
he
they,
didn't respond. So.
I'll find where you live.
No, because obviously he's demonstrated how much he doesn't care about it. So
If they named it Low Tax, I imagine it earned the love of many goons. Probably not Mittens himself, but
I don't know.
but yeah,
But I'm
but yeah,
surprised. at
Pluto
how-
would be my favorite. Pluto would be my favorite.
I would be happy with if one of them got named. I'd be sad that
Yes.
Socks didn't get picked. But
Yeah.
that would probably be the last nail in the coffin to get his name changed.
How about
Yeah.
Pluto's socks? That'd be Pluto's socks.
Pluto's Revenge.
Dear me. But yeah, Pluto would get my vote.
and I think the other one's going to be Eon Prime.
Or
Which
Eon
is-
514.
Eon 5.
How unoriginal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that just. Ugh.
It was,
Uh,
it
you
was
know,
basically.
I know they won, and I know they can call it what they want, but
And Movado is
Prime.
talking about they might not come back to Dust, so they want to leave their mark and they want to throw it in CCP's face and everybody, or throw it in the Eve populace face.
Well, they can go fuck themselves.
yeah, they got a really wonderful opportunity to put a mark in the game, and
It was basically.
Well, I mean, they want to leave like their Alliance name. I can think of a lot worse things they could pick.
yeah, there
They'd
could be
never
worse
get through
ones, but,
CCP if they
yeah. we
chose the
could,
worst thing.
yeah.
CCP could veto it, but it was. They started a poll after Free Pass 1. We were like, okay, we'll start a poll to see what the public wanted named, and that ended up being basically a battle of the devs trying to get Sox 4's name up there, and Sox were like, no, Pluto's good, just keep it Pluto. So we got 2,000 votes on the thing when we were expecting like 2 votes.
I noticed a
And-
lot of Eve devs started posting that poll as well and trying to get Socks
Yeah.
4.
Yeah, but then like after all that, I think
They
Sox
are.
4 won.
I can tell you from speaking to them on the office tour at FanFest, they are so up for him to change his name. They are prepared to do anything.
I mean, yeah, he's in the Iceland office, so it makes sense. That
Yeah,
the
they
devs are.
They are really prepared to do anything. They were gloating to me about how they'd hacked his network drive to put that picture of him on his PC when he was doing the keynote. They were just so I knew about that before he did.
That was priceless, by the way.
That picture of him with socks on, I was giggling away like an idiot. Going, there, they got you good and proper there, mate.
He needs, was it 1 million likes on the Dust forums?
I
To,
think he's a bit over that now, isn't he?
No, he's at like. Oh wait, I can check. Post.
I thought he blasted like what they was like. I'll do it if I get this many likes, and then he went over that and he was like, no.
I think it was originally 100,000, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He's he's over 100,000.
Yeah, because I don't think he figured anyone would write that JavaScript program. Does he know about
I
that?
think it's at 1 million now. I think 1 million is his next.
His next
Yeah, but when
attempt
he-
to fucking
but-
back out of it.
if and when he hits 1 million, he'll
That's
probably
when.
up it again. When?
It's when. It's just going to be whether or not it's before version 2 comes out.
I I think like in like 1.8 or 1.9, like if it's not ready then, they'll just say CCP Stocks 4's likes have been set at 1 million. That would be like a major game update.
He's probably
Okay.
going to kill me for knowing that his network drive was going to get hacked before he did.
Okay, we're hit the hour mark, and Thunderdome started half an hour ago, so I don't know if it's actually still going. But Thunderdome is a thing, and I didn't actually realize it had become this much of a thing. Like originally, it was just some planetary conquest match thing that someone set up, and now it's Logibro actually spawns a match which has like thousands of clones on each side, and just like brings people in, and you can do whatever the hell you want. I don't think there are any rewards for it.
Who cares?
But like, it's a cool community thing, yeah.
Yeah. Why haven't I been invited?
It's on now. So do you just want to wrap the show up and go see if we can get in?
Yeah, could do, I suppose.
That should be full by now.
It'll be full.
Does he spawn multiple ones?
I've no
I don't
idea.
know. Be interesting. I mean, be something like that on some of the newer maps. That one that's circular, that's absolutely huge, because that map is so. Yeah, that map is so clearly designed for 32 versus 32. So.
All of the new maps are for 24v24 at least.
Yeah.
They're very spacious.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, I mean, they're obviously doing enough with work with the lag now to start considering, bumping up the player count a little bit, which is I think what builds into the whole squad thing. When they said the whole team could be generated on the squad.
Yeah.
Probably because they got bored of us queue syncing. Screw it, let's give them the team. No. But yeah, some of the maps are so obviously designed for 32 versus 32. It's just, why even bother pretending anymore? Because they're just so huge. Which is why
more people to shoot at.
Yeah, more people shoot it. They're so big that it's probably why they put the transport assist for the war points in, because there's going to be.
I just want the new research facility, all the doors closed so they can't get out. Just deathmatch.
Yeah,
that'll make me a happy man. Just make that the game mode.
Well, that'd be an interesting capture point, wouldn't it? You capture the point that actually closes all the doors.
It's just because I'm a very avid Halo fan.
Yeah.
Until it became Halo Reach and Halo 4, which aren't Halo games as far as I'm concerned. They're just not. And when I first started playing the new maps when they came out, I was like, "This is a Halo map." This is a Halo map. And I started experimenting. I realized, like, exactly like Halo, map knowledge rewards you. Rewarded by map knowledge, so you can get from the 4th floor down to the basement in a single jump.
Yep.
Because it's just the design of that as a map, not as a facility, just as a map, is amazing. It's just such a fluid map.
I love that map.
Yeah, it's really nice.
There's a new
Anything
one
more
coming
like
as
that.
well.
Yeah,
He keeps
the underground
posting
one,
the
the
things on
orbitals.
Twitpic and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Mimitar one. They've been.
Production facility. No
Logic
orbitals
loop.
because it's underground. Yay!
I expect
Master
much duct tape.
Well, I mean, that was one of the tidbits. One of the guys at FanFest did say to me, as far as their technicality is concerned of the maps, they've got it, kilometers square. It also means kilometer cubed. So they can have it go underground. Yes, so they're just not ready to do that yet because the maps would be huge.
I'd actually love like a purely just huge underground complex to fight in. That'd be awesome.
Mhm.
Well, they did
Series of
mention on the keynote
corridors.
that there was maps that had a lot more verticality, as they made up this word. Verticality is that how they described it.
If they actually get, because they haven't done much verticality in any map so far up until
That's
the
you.
research facility,
Mm.
and then the production facility, and that'll tie in very well if they actually get good at doing vertical oriented maps or facilities. The orbital elevator, which will just, instead of going down, it'll go up even more, might be very interesting. If they nail that right, that'll be a very interesting type of infrastructure.
Or a zero gravity map. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, they've talked about that as well. So
But
a
we'll
lot
wait
of
and
that's
see.
spitballing, I think.
I think we're going to get a
I
lot
think,
in 1.6.
I think come FanFest next year, Dust is going to be in a very interesting place.
I want to see heavies in space.
Using forge guns to like change their
Momentum.
trajectory, yeah.
Turn around and
I can't stop spinning.
fire in the opposite direction. Inertia.
Okay, well we're past the hour mark now, so I'm going to wrap this up. Thanks everybody for coming on. Shoutouts and all that good stuff. So we'll start with Eden. Shoutouts. And...
Yes, shout out to my team. I think JW did it on last week's when I couldn't make it, just for being really fun, but having terrible voting system where I can't vote for the planet name I want, and because everyone else is an Eon player, they all get to vote on the one planet they wanted. But they're really fun to play with. Shout out to CSP Logibro for being a very good masochist and surviving this tournament.
You can't be a bad masochist.
You never know. You could complain.
Well, then you won't be a masochist.
You never know. People like to complain. You could be a British masochist.
No, we don't complain. We just go buy the extra equipment.
Yeah. The tournament was fun to play. I made about 100 mil, not including salvage, of which I got like over 30 officer weapons out of it in salvage, which was pretty amazing. So I'm sad about that. I just didn't get a planet. I didn't get to scam people in Eve over a planet. But oh well, it was pretty fun.
Okay, Denny?
Well, just a general shout out to CCP for basically doing what I told them to do and give me a build all to myself. And also to the rest of the guys at Dust University for all the work that they do. The management team, I couldn't do it without them. I wouldn't want to do it without them because I'd go insane. And there would be, and a shout out to all the guys that are in Dust University who don't know it yet, but they're going to get some form of court roll just to justify me having them. But thanks again to CCP, and also for CCP True Grit team for making sure Rivera got home last night. She was very drunk.
Okay, Leoso?
Just a shout out to CCP for sticking with Dust through all the haters and all that.
No
And
shout
also to the haters, I can say this.
Exactly.
No comment on your employer and Reddit or anything. No,
Only
okay.
2% of our views came from Reddit. We're not concerned.
Only 99%.
Okay, Reaver?
Plus, we got the ad now.
Does have the ad now.
Sorry,
Permanent
Gil.
ad.
Okay.
Just a shout out to my giant brothers.
I want to give a shout out to What the French for making the last couple of weeks incredibly enjoyable.
Ooh.
It took you 2.5 hours to get that in there. That's been building
so
up.
close to
It's
the
been
end.
building up like a turd that won't flush. Suddenly came out there on the stage. It's like, ta-da!
Oh, somebody do the effect. Somebody...
Oh god.
Oh no! Wait! Which effect? Wait.
We'll end on the effect. Lou.
Oh, I gotta add the app. What the hell is this? No, Google Effects, install Hangout. Wow, what on earth is that? Oh, there we go.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Night, everybody.